Hello students, I am here to discuss about the election law and the topic for the discussion of my lecture is the constitutional disqualification for the membership of parliament and state legislature. Under this topic I will discuss about the general idea of disqualification, the constitutional disqualifications, what are the disqualifications, and under this I will discuss how this office of the prophet, unsoundness of the mind, or undischarged insolvent are become as a disqualification. And beside this, if a person is not having a citizenship of India, will also be disqualification. As uh, the general idea, or we can say the introduction, like qualification for membership of parliament and state legislature, certain there are fundamental disqualification which mitigate which militate against a person entering into the houses of parliament or state legislature, and these qualifications are itself laid down by the constitution maker itself. What more should disqualify a person from being a member of these houses in the fast changing political, social, and economic scenario in the country? The constitution makers left it to the wisdom of the parliament, collective wisdom of the parliament. The basic disqualification which the constitution itself laid down are contained in Article 102 in relating to the membership of parliament, and in Article 191 in relation to the membership of state legislature. These basic qualification are holding these basic disqualification are holding an office of profit under the government of India or the government of any state. Number 2, being of unsound mind, and 3, being an undischarged insolvent. 4, not being a citizen of India or voluntarily acquiring the citizenship of a foreign state, or being under an acknowledgement of the allegiance or adherence to a foreign state. So now I will take up first the holding an office of the profit under the government is prohibited to make a to being chosen a member of House of Parliament or state legislature. So regarding this thing, it is very clearly mentioned here that if a person hold the office of profit in the state government or the government of union, then he will be disqualified to become a member of parliament and state legislature. Yes, regarding the office of profit, what was the intention and object uh, uh, of the constitution maker was that they want to make the legislature independent from the executive. Means legislature should not work under the influence of the executive office or the certain duties which are attached to them, so they make it disqualification from it. And here means so that the legislator to whom the office of profit are given, or they are the holder of the office of the profit, they can misuse their position. So for this the real intention or the object has been defined in the case of Shibu Soren case. Although I will discuss this topic in detail in my next lecture, that is the office of profit. And what is the meaning of office? In fact, it was held that the office it is a position which attach certain duties, and duties uh, are having the are attached with, or duties are of public importance, public interest. And this office is having some pecuniary advantage, and these pecuniary advantages are measurable in the form of money. So, and these offices are under the government. In that case, the holder of this office shall be disqualified to be chosen as a member of parliament or a state legislature. Now the second disqualification is the uh, disqualification is unsoundness of the mind. Means a person who want to be chosen or being as a member of parliament or state legislature, that person should be of sound mind. A person shall also be disqualified for being chosen or for being a member of parliament or a state legislature if he is of unsound mind and stands so declared by a competent court under Article 102 subclause 1 subclause B and 191 subclause 1 subclause B. So here it is important that whether a person is of sound mind or unsound mind. If it is alleged that a person is of unsound mind, it should be declared by the competent court of law. So, in the case of Election Commissioner of India versus Bajrang Bahadur Singh, the Supreme Court has observed that the event which renders a person disqualified on the ground of unsoundness of mind has two components. Number one, a person must be of unsound mind, and number two, stand so declared by the competent court. It is only on the happening of both the events that such a person becomes disqualified. Supreme Court further observed in this case that there is nothing in nature that a person who is of unsound mind and declared so by a competent court needs to continue in the same state of mind forever. It is possible in some cases that with appropriate medical treatment, the unsoundness of mind could be cured, and on proof of the same, an appropriate declaration from the competent court revoking the earlier declaration can always be obtained, and upon such declaration, the disqualification ceases. It is thus apparent from this provision that a mere allegation that a person is of unsound mind is not sufficient to disqualify him for the membership of parliament or a state legislature, but such person should stand so declared by a competent court under the law relating to lunacy, that is the Indian Lunacy Act 1912. It is important to be noted. Even a certificate by a doctor or by a medical board that a person is of unsound mind will not by itself disqualify that person, but what is needed is a declaration by a competent court to that effect. Unless such a declaration of a competent court is produced before the returning officer, he should not go into the question of disqualification on this ground if raised in relation to the candidature of any person at an election. So it is very clear, only or mere the certificate by a medical board or the doctor will not work, and to allege that this person is of unsound mind, it is important to be established that it should be declared by the competent court of law. The person is of unsound mind, only it will work. The third disqualification is of undischarged installment. The Constitution has further laid down that an undischarged insolvent shall also be disqualified for membership of Parliament and of state legislature under Article 102, subclause 1, subclause C, and under Article 191, subclause 1, subclause C. But who is an undischarged insolvent within the meaning of Article 102 subclause 1 subclause C and 191 subclause 1 subclause C? The question arose for determination of the Election Commission on a reference made to it by the Governor of Uttar Pradesh for its opinion under Article 192 subclause 2. It was alleged in this case, that is the Shrimati Kishori Shukla case, it was alleged that a then sitting member of Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly had become insolvent for having committed the acts of insolvency by not paying back the loans she had obtained from the Uttar Pradesh Financial Corporation. Kishori Shukla has taken loan from the Uttar Pradesh Financial Corporation and she could not pay it back. And it was challenged that she is insolvent and she should be disqualified. The Commission has given the opinion that Article 191, subclause 1, subclause C comes into play only when a person is adjudicated or adjudged insolvent by a competent insolvency court under the provision of the Provincial Insolvency Act 1920. And such adjudged insolvent has not been discharged from the insolvency in according to the provision of this act. The Commission held that an order of insolvency court under section 27 of the said act is a condition precedent for invoking the provision of Article 191 subclause 1 subclause C, and mere commission of the acts of insolvency cannot be held to be a ground for disqualification, as the insolvency court has the power under the aforesaid act not to adjudge a person as insolvent even for any acts of insolvency. Further, the disqualification on this account will also cease to be operative if the person adjudged as insolvent has been discharged from insolvency in according to the provision of this Act. So, any doubt on this point now stand conclusively settled by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court held that the disqualification under Article 102 subclause 1 subclause C and 191 subclause 1 subclause C would be attracted only when a person is adjudged insolvent by the competent insolvency court, and it was held in 1999 in the case of Thampo Noor Ravi versus Chandrapara Ravi. The spelling of the party is THAMPOPONOOR, Thamponur Ravi versus Charupara Ravi. And now the fourth disqualification is that the non-citizenship of India or the acknowledgement of alliance or adherence to a foreign state. Under Article 102 subclause 1 subclause D and 191 subclause 1 subclause D, a person shall be disqualified for being chosen as member of parliament or state legislature if he is not citizen of India or has voluntarily acquired the citizenship of foreign state or is under the acknowledgement of the alliance or adherence to a foreign state. It is very clearly laid down by the Constitution itself in this article. Although Constitution lays down the citizenship of India as a fundamental and essential qualification for membership of Parliament and state legislature under Article 84 and 170, 84 subclause A and 173 subclause A. So, of course, it is, if a person is not citizen of India, he is disqualified for to be chosen as a member of Parliament or state legislature. Any question regarding the loss of citizenship, who shall be the authority? So, any question whether a person is a citizen of India or not has to be determined with reference to the relevant provision of the Constitution and the Citizenship Act 1955, as it was held in the case of Rajiv Gandhi case. Specifically, when once a person is admitted or held to be a citizen of India, he has to be regarded as such citizen unless there is a decision of the central government under Section 9 subclause 2 of the Citizenship Act 1955 that he has acquired the citizenship of a foreign country. So, Supreme Court in the case of Rajiv Gandhi held that if a question is raised in an election petition that certain person has acquired the citizenship of another country, the High Court trying the election petition will have no jurisdiction to decide that question. Whenever may be the proceeding in which the question of loss of citizenship of a person arises for consideration, the decision in that proceedings on the said question should depend upon the decision of the authority constituted for determining the said question under Section 9 subclause 2 of the Citizenship Act 1955, and it is only the declaration by such authority which has to be given effect to, meaning thereby High Court is not having a jurisdiction to entertain this allegation. And allegiance or adherence to a foreign state. It is not only the loss of Indian citizenship that will render a person disqualified and ineligible both for election as a member of parliament or state legislature and also for continuing as such member, but acknowledgement of alliance or adherence to a foreign state shall also invite such disqualification. A person may be a citizen of India and continue to be regarded as such. He shall nevertheless be disqualified for membership of parliament or state legislature if he acknowledges the allegiance or adherence to a foreign state. A question arose before the Election Commission on a reference from the Governor of Tamil Nadu for its opinion under Article 192 subclause 2 whether a then sitting member of Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly had become disqualified for continuing as such member on his having become the honorary consul general of Turkey in India at Madras. The Election Commission held that the member concerned had acknowledged the adherence to a foreign state, namely Turkey, by accepting the appointment made by the government of Turkey as its honorary consul at Madras and had thereby become disqualified to continue as member of Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. It was the K.S. Haza Sharif case. The Madras High Court, before whom the order of the Governor of Tamil Nadu based on the above opinion of the Commission was challenged, also upheld the view of the Election Commission and held the member concerned to be disqualified for being under an acknowledgement of adherence to a foreign state. And yes, in the case of Subramaniam Swamy versus Election Commission of India, that I will take up this. So, although before that I would like to discuss that a similar question again arose in 2007 before the before the Election Commission on a reference made by the President on a petition filed by one Shri P. Rajan of Kerala. It was alleged that Srimati Sonia Gandhi had become subject to disqualification under Article 102, Subclause 1D, by reason of having accepted the title of Grand Office of the Order of Leopold conferred by the government of Belgium. Accepting the clarification furnished by the government of Belgium that what was conferred on the Srimati Sonia Gandhi was not a title but a decoration. The Election Commission held that Srimati Sonia Gandhi had not become disqualified under the said Article 102, Subclause 1, Subclause D. Uh, and the High Court, before whom the order passed by the President on the opinion of the Election Commission was challenged by the Dr. Subramaniam Sami, President Janata Party upheld the order of the President by observing that Election Commission could not sit in appeal over the unambiguous clarification issued by the government of Belgium in the form of a note Barbele that Srimati Sonia Gandhi was conferred with a decoration, not a title. The High Court also drew a distinction between the case of Shri K.S. Haja Sharif and the case of Srimati Sonia Gandhi, observing that being appointed to a post under a foreign state is not the same thing as being conferred an honor by a foreign state. So it is very clear that the constitutional disqualifications make are let down by the constitutional maker itself, that if a person hold the office of prophet, or if the person is of unsound mind, if the person is of undischarged installment, and the person is not a citizen or adhered to a foreign country or has taken a citizenship of other country, will be disqualified. And the next topic for my lecture will be the office of prophet. Thank you very much for watching me and listening me.